call this meeting to order. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We have a little bit of an unusual situation that we would like to take care of first. So I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session because we have a little bit of business to do, and we have those people that are involved with the business that are on a time schedule. So we got to kind of move them up to be able to do this.
I'll second.
I'll make the motion to go into the executive session at 6:01 p.m. on March 8th for the purpose of number 3, a conference with the law director or other retained counsel concerning pending or imminent court action, and 7A and 7B.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes. So we're going to go into executive session. Anybody that's here for business, just be a little bit patient. We're going to be right back out. To return from executive session at 6:23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes. So I'm also going to change things up a little bit in the interest of courtesy. First of all, anybody that's here that wishes to address the board, we're going to move that up. We didn't discuss this, but I'm going to go ahead and move that up because we have asked for your patience. So normally this comes at the end of the meeting, but we're going to move it up. So I would ask at this time that if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to address the board on any issues at this time, please give your name and address to our fiscal officer, and then anything you want to address the board with, you can. Is there anybody?
What
That's
scouting
actually
activity are we out working on?
I'm working on communications verify today, so I just got to get a list down of what everything's talked about today.
Perfect. So make sure before you leave, we'll talk to you after you stay. You'll
Here's
have an
the agendas in the
agenda.
back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Grab one, it'll tell you everything that we're gonna go over for half.
Yeah, and then if any of us need to sign anything, please see us afterwards. So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we do want to welcome Commissioner Smith is here. I'm sure just observing, and thank you very much for your attendance. So, having said that, we will, so we do have the agenda before us. Is there anybody beyond the additions, corrections, or editing to the agenda for the regular meeting? I think I'm going to add like 2. I'm going to add utility aggregate and health department report. Utility aggregate and health department report. Anything else? Other than that, the agenda will stand. So we're going to start and get to the regular agenda, and we will do the sheriff's monthly report. Captain Carver.
Good evening. Before you, the monthly report for February. Slight reprieve last month, 803 calls for service, down just under 8%. Continue to see the trend of crashes going up compared to last year. 54 crashes, 5 injury crashes, 62 alarms, 165 traffic stops, 84 citations, 61 arrests, 10.9% increase, 669 vacation checks. For the detective's report, 8 cases assigned, closed 1 endangering children, 1 stolen vehicle. And you have your charts there, down a little bit from last year overall. Some of the categories were up from last year. Questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Captain. All right, that'll take us to new business.
Thank you. I have a resolution for the board to open a blanket purchase order for payment payment to Woods and Bricks LLC, Matthew Supply, and Ohio Beauty Cut Stone for material and labor for the Gateway project located between the hall and Oakwood Square Plaza.
I will so move on new business number one.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Just to comment, the designs, you know, based upon what we met with Adam, it looks exceptional. It'll tie well with our comprehensive mini master plan, with this being the central corridor area focus, so.
And it's a continuation of what we've already started. So we already have a
With the
couple
other
of these.
gateways.
Yes.
I'm opening it for 20,000, it will be well under, just labors, materials, supplies, I just wanted to go on the safe side. So,
Since that increase of.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you, that ends new business.
Thank you. That takes us to the fiscal officer report. Mr. Wolf.
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a resolution to authorize the payment of pending warrants in the amount of $423,074.92.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $250,000.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is a resolution to authorize the following reallocations.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Brooke. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 5 is a liquor license for J. Lally Incorporated located at 2922 Harrisburg Road Northeast and drive-through Canton, Ohio 44705.
Any concerns, guys?
No.
That particular location, we've not had it, it's not a continuous problem, location. We did just recently cite an employee there for selling to an underage person. It's not a recurring problem.
Okay.
Say,
Yeah.
let it move on. You don't need to hold up.
Okay. Fiscal Officer number 6 is a liquor license for Bugsy's Italian Cuisine LLC located at 2700 Easton Street Northeast, Canton, Ohio 44721.
That's a transfer, right? That's probably a transfer.
Yes.
Yeah. I would think the same thing. Yeah.
Sealed shale
Yep.
location.
Yeah, Bugsy's been in business before, so.
Yeah.
record. Okay, next.
Fiscal Officer number 7 is a resolution for Plain Township Board of Trustees to pick up all 12.25% of the mandatory contribution by employees who are members of the OP&F through payroll reduction. And basically, it's just rewording our current, doesn't change any of our allocations, it's just complying with the wording of police and fire.
I'll make a motion,
Second.
and for the purpose of discussion, it's just a formality. It is not that we are paying
Right.
this
Correct.
12.5%.
Yeah, it's just changing our
We have to
language.
create this resolution basically for tax purposes, I
Right.
think, for them.
Yeah, it's already happening with the PERS pickup.
Yes.
The resolution was already passed, they just wanted a little tweak in the language from the fiscal office.
Correct.
Tweaked and done.
Yeah. There was a little bit of confusion as to what pension pickup meant, but for us, this simply is doing the language to allow them
Yes.
for tax purposes. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 8 is a resolution to approve 6 additional metered streetlights to be located on Pine Tree Avenue Northeast and Stonegate Circle Northeast between the following lots.
So moved.
Second.
and seconded, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Thanks, Tom. That
Thank you.
takes us to the administrator.
Yes, this evening I have a resolution to enter into the attached service agreement between Plain Township and Earthenwood for the transportation and disposal of yard waste, and to authorize the payments, and myself as the designated signee for the agreement.
I so move.
Second, it's been moved and seconded, discussion,
I think
Yes.
we just need to note the rates have actually stayed very reasonable, because when we last signed for a 3-year, some of the rates were $250. So the fact that we're looking at like 170, 177, 184, I mean, that's negligible. Because
Yes.
quite frankly, those hauling costs will either affect what our annual cost is
correct.
for the past, or if we even can continue to do it. So, I mean, they've been a good partner. I would assume, is there anything in there, I know we had committed to previously that,
No, we're just thrilled that they're gonna continue. When they took over, Kurtz Brothers took over Earthenwood, we didn't know what was gonna happen with yard waste. And I think they appreciate the time and effort, the cleanliness down there, the enforcement of the rules, where they're not getting items in that waste that's gonna break their equipment. And I do wanna thank Eric Haynes, he did negotiate this contract, has worked very closely with Earthenwood, and it gives us a breather that we have 3 more years to offer this service. So thank you, Eric.
Yeah, this is win-win-win for
It
everyone.
really is.
Absolutely. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
yes,
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And that ends the administrator report.
Thanks, that takes us to the fire department, Chief Schallenberger.
Thank you. Item number 1 is our monthly report.
It was easy to follow the big old pie graphs.
Very nice.
Okay, if anyone has anything specific that they need to ask the chief, they can see him later. Next, John.
All right, thank you. Number 2 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize the purchase and payment of level 3 ballistic helmets to Black Cloud Ops, not to exceed $4,000.
So moved?
Second, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
have we historically had this equipment, or this is new?
Actually, yeah, we have 8 helmets now, so we're trying to expand it because we run 3 people on the ambulances now. And they do actually have a shelf life, 10 years,
Yeah.
so they expired, so the county's mass casualty plan, they want each ambulance to be outfitted with 2 ballistic vests and helmets.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Okay, item number 3 is a resolution to authorize the purchase and installation labor for a Generac natural gas generator from Dolphin Electric at 7858 Market North, Station 4, not to exceed $22,000.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. What size is that, Chuck?
It's a 22 kW, and that is replacing the one that was
Yeah.
added on when we did the addition 27 years ago. Unfortunately, it's a long time.
Very
So
well
we-
remember that.
So it's, our problem is that in the electronics of it is starting to fail, and we cannot get parts for it anymore. So, this goes with 10-year warranty, so, update.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Okay, item number 4 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize payment to QDCIP fire equipment for Eco-10 hose to be taken, not to exceed $4,200.
So moved?
Moved by Scott, seconded by Brooke. Discussion.
Just replacing some hose that we had worn out, just trying to keep things.
Which now has a shelf life as well.
Yes, and also has a 10-year
Yeah.
cycle.
Yep. Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 5 is a resolution to change the status of Seth Shire from part-time EMT firefighter to part-time paramedic firefighter to increase the salary to $18.03 per resolution 155.
I will move on FD number 5.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That completes the fire department, thank you.
Thanks, Chuck, that takes us to road.
Thank you, Mr.
JP.
Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First item under road is the monthly report.
Was that like the picture on there, you just hoping that
Wow.
you don't see that for a while now?
That was actually at Rob's Park
Okay.
down at Diamond. We had all
It's like
some
that
snow.
snowbank's about
Yeah.
8, it's taller than a truck.
It is nice seeing the beet heat and salt usage that you're including.
Thank you. Yeah, that's just for the month. I'll have to give
Yeah.
everyone at the end of March.
Actually, after the major storms, when you cross that stuff out, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Thank you. All right, road item number 2 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment to Kimball Midwest for miscellaneous nuts and bolts and hardware not to exceed $4,473.91.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 3 under road is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment to the Morph Corporation for the yearly user license and form of engineer report system not to exceed $3,840.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, discussion.
This is year 3 or 4 having that.
Yeah, it's
done.
probably
I
around
remember
4.
meeting with the vendor.
Yeah.
How's it still working? Is
Good.
it filling our needs? Is
Yeah.
there-
Yeah, it works, we use it for paving and some other projects, but, we're looking at some other work order systems, so
Okay,
maybe something we can transition out.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, anything that we can be looking at that is consistent with everybody else.
Correct.
Very good, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
All right, item number 4 is simply just kind of an FYI and a reminder about the ODOT meeting taking place March 15th at 9 a.m. at La Pizzeria.
It's next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know I'm going.
Yeah, I confirmed everybody that said they were.
Okay. Okay, next.
All right, the last one, number 5, is a, just kind of speed zone study we had at the end of last year. We got the results back. Based on the above results, the Stark County Engineers Office recommends retaining the existing speed limit, and this is on the northern half of Mount Thurston. So,
Yeah, my consensus would be leave it at 40.
yeah,
Mine too, because I look right down.
Yeah.
They already fly by, it's just,
yeah.
Which we don't need a resolution to do because it's already set there. We've had the study says it actually would warrant a 45, but because it's already 40, common sense tells us leave it at 40.
Correct.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, perfect, thank you. That takes us to zoning, Mr. Farrar.
Thank you, sir. Item number 1 is a monthly report.
Snowflakes seem to be the theme.
Prefer not to see them on any other
Yeah.
templates moving forward, or we're gonna have an executive be disciplined.
No snow. Okay, any questions? See Tom later. Next, Tom.
Item number 2 is a resolution to change zoning on parcel 5200-573, which is currently dual zone, with the north portion being zoned rural residential, the southern half being zoned general business. The applicant is requesting to have the whole parcel zone B2 general business.
This is already went for zoning,
Yes, and they approved it.
so
RPC also.
Regional planning approved it, our zoning commission approved it.
Yes.
Okay. I would move to adopt the recommendation of Plain Township Zoning Commission for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
The only thing I might add is we've got that date, March 8th, can't be right, so I don't know when that hearing was, but if we could just change that on the official.
I think it was February 22nd, but if you wanna just double check.
Yeah, whenever that was,
Yeah.
just so we got a good record.
So legally, are we okay moving forward?
Yeah, we'll just change that to the date
As
as
long
it
as
is.
the correction.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes. Thanks, Tom.
And that's all.
That takes us to parks. Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you. Item number 1 is the monthly report.
Okay, any questions of Rob? See him later.
He has no, snowflakes on his.
No, the tree lines for lights.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, we had that big stack in his parking.
So, item number 2 is a resolution of the Board of Trustees enter into the standard field usage agreement for field baseball rental for Holly Hills.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
This is based on how things come in from a timing and request.
Correct. Correct, it was all done when we opened reservations and committed to the rentals, then we sent out the contract with the dates and specifics.
Anything else? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you, item number 3 is a field usage agreement with David Zemla.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 4 is simply a change to the template where it would designate the Parks Director to be the official signee on behalf of the township to execute and move into the contract facilitation.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Just here's what we did with Lisa.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
contract, so,
Mhm. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 3 is a resolution to authorize purchase and payment to Majestic Trailer for trailer and hitch in an amount not to exceed $59.18 from Fund 2171 and change, which is the levy fund.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And my favorite of the evening, number 6, is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to pay all parks employees from either Fund 2171 or Fund 2901, making the levy and the parks fund now effective.
So moved.
So moved, Brooks, I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Item number 7 is a resolution to authorize purchase and payment to Rice's for the redefined fibrous mulch for the playgrounds. Not to exceed $41.40 out of Fund 2171
I will move on
and
that
20.
resolution.
I'll second.
Brooks seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 8 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees authorize purchase and payment to Mass Lepley for a Ventrac mower not to exceed $26,928 from Fund 2171 760
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And item number 9 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to increase Brian Evans and Brady Sabinas' pay rate from $12 to $12.50 an hour from Fund 2171 610 112 and or 2901 610 112 for seasonal duties performed by Township Parks Buildings and Grounds.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you, that concludes Parks.
Thanks, Rob. And that takes us to communications.
Thank you. We have a communication this evening that reads, "Dear road crew, thank you for replacing the mailbox post. I would have had to pay someone to fix it, and thanks for all the snow removal in our neighborhood." From Karen at Bradford. Good job, JT.
Good job,
That's the
JT.
team, that's the team, I can't take credit for it.
Well, we heard you knock down the mailbox.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not taking credit. That's why I'm not taking credit.
You don't need enough time.
Thank God they didn't call me out by name.
And that's the end of communication.
Yeah, I think we're in the right direction. Okay, that takes us to public speaks. Again, I'll ask, is there anybody in the audience that wishes to address the board? Okay, Commissioner, you wanna say anything?
From the county level?
Just, enjoy coming around and saying hello and seeing the process. And,
It's so nice
Thank
to
you.
come.
Yes, thank you very much for coming.
It's been a while since I've gotten the cycle because of COVID, but,
Yeah,
I've tried to be respectful there, but I think we're hopefully to the other side of that. Let's hope.
perfect.
But it
I
means
know.
a lot to all of us and the
Yeah.
department heads too, to see you here, so thank you.
Yeah,
Very much so.
thank you.
Next, concerns of trustees, we have three. First is SCOG.
Yeah, mine was just a SCOG update. Really nothing major on the countywide CAD radio update. Under Crime Lab, we did have some discussions on about restarting the DNA services. Reason being, a couple of years, well, it's been more than a couple of years ago, they shut the lab down and started pushing everything to BCI. Oh, hey, there's economies of scale, we'll be able to get things turned quick. Well, BCI is a hot mess in getting things turned around in a timely manner. So, as a part of SCOG's evaluation, looking at equipment costs, one time up front of about $340,000 in equipment. I have to figure out space for it. There's about $121,000 annually recurring just between, maintenance, contracts, testing, kits, and supplies. And then, on top of that, they would be hiring in two analysts. So that's, I think those were figured at about 65 a piece, assuming we'll be able to find that. So, you take a look at all of this. We're also in a timing where the formula for funding SCOG is going to be reevaluated, because I think it's every 10 years. In short, we're going to be, as we move into 2023, we're going to look at an increase. So we need to be able to anticipate it. But when you take a look at, the backlog right now, they essentially have no backlog in chemistry. In the firearms and the fingerprint, it's maybe 2% of their total number of cases, so very minimal. And, just to give some context, like their total number of submissions in 2021 was a little over 4,600 case submissions. So there's a lot that's going on down there, but we just need to be cognizant, because in years past, when, hey, the funding formula conversation starts rearing its head, and everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, and then everybody starts getting their side channels and back channels. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? Between Chris Nichols at the county level and who's the SCOG secretary or overseer, they're doing an exceptional job at keeping the top of this. The funding formula is certainly a hot topic, because a lot of folks, it's very complex, one, and, to even discuss the change, let alone get folks to comprehend what all that changes. Stark County is probably one of the first that's taken lead on this, because they've been asking around the state who else is taking a look, and it's sort of like keep away. So we just don't want to be surprised, but as a whole, those were the primary SCOG updates.
All right, so I put two on. I'll start with utility aggregate. We just got our annual report. And I just want to read a couple things and just throw out a couple numbers there. So first I'll start with gas, just the update on winter gas rates. And this is their verbiage, not mine. Customers who gambled on monthly variable rate contracts were stung in recent months. as natural gas rates from the local utilities soared as shown below, and we have a chart of what those numbers are. Conversely, all independent energy consultant government aggregation program clients were protected this winter with low price fixed rates. The average rates for those programs is approximately 45% lower than the prices paid by customers, remaining on the utility company's monthly variable rates as depicted in the chart above. Because of this, we have noticed an increase in the number of calls to our office from residents wanting to join your programs. Now, that's on the gas side. Now, I'll go to the electric side and just throw out what some of those numbers on the electric side are. We started off January 21 with 5,601 residential accounts. We ended the year almost 3,000 accounts more at 5,000 or 8,069. Okay, that translates to, and these numbers shock me, by the way, that translates to, for the year, a total residential savings of $692,533 residential, $154,920 commercial, for a total community savings of about $850,000. So I just felt it important to get those numbers out, and I want to thank Lisa for not only staying on top of this stuff, but paying attention to what's going on, pushing this information back out at us, handling all those calls, because we do get a lot of people that call in and they're kind of confused about what it all means. But I know once, I'll just speak for my neighbor, once she found out, boom, she said, oh man, I can save a little money there. It's like, yep, I think you can. So obviously 3,000 other residents realized from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, they're saving money. So I just think, you know, we need to keep those kind of programs going, keep our eyes open, keep working with people like our group of people that put this together. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about quickly is we had our annual health department meeting, and I will say the bulk of the meeting really encompassed COVID, which rightfully so. And you know, they talked a lot of stats, a lot of logistics, a lot of thank yous back to a lot of people, including us. We were very specifically named in the cooperation that we did at the clinic at the Wilkendale Center. And Commissioner Smith spoke back to the health department, who in fact were pushing all of their kudos out to everybody else. But Commissioner Smith, you hit it right back on the head, right back at them, because that was like a machine over there. And you know, I know they took a lot of grief, but I don't think the people that gave them the grief realized how well we had it here in Stark County. And I'm gonna blow Stark County's horn. I'm gonna continue to do that, because Kirk said it all when he said he's worked on committees and been to other counties and have seen very poor cooperative efforts collectively. And you're not gonna see that in this county, and I don't care who it's with. I don't care if it's with the fire departments, the health departments, that collaborative here, that, and a lot of people don't realize how that emergency management process filters up and down the scale. It could be a nightmare, but when you think about, what did they say, 70-some thousand vaccinations they did? And you know, all you had to do was, and by the way, for those people who were having difficulty using the online system, they actually had somebody to reach out to them to be able to get them into the system. So that was some things that took place there. A couple other things quickly that, as we already all know, septic tanks was an issue. The good news is that, well, I think it's good news. We have actually the second most number of septic systems in the county. Lake is first, we're second. The good news is, they do inspections of all of these on every transfer of property. And we are running at about 10% of failures versus 14% being the county average overall. So I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of our residents are probably just making sure they keep all those up.
And you'll see a septic article in our newsletter this time too, so that's timely.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that,
Yeah.
but that's cool. And the last thing I'm gonna talk about, and I guess I didn't realize this, but I think, you know, it is something that, as a part of this year's state budget bill, the definition of e-cigarettes was transferred and became a part of the, state smoke-free Ohio law. So you know, that is the equivalent of smoking tobacco now in those places based on the Ohio law.
Including the township and township vehicles and.
Every place it's a public,
Mhm.
it's a public building. Wherever the original law applied, the same thing applies here now. Any questions on those? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have for that. So next would be, the minutes for the February 22nd, and I will move to accept those minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes. We do have a need to adjourn to another executive session. Be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session at 6:58 PM from this regular meeting, March 8th, as authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose of the consideration of 1A, B, D, F, and that's it, because we already did all the other ones, right?
Yeah, except 3 again.
Okay, all right, so let me redo that. That would be 1A, B, D, F, and 3.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.